Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time joining us at the Coco Convo Corner, then please pull up a seat, a cozy beanbag, a chair, a step stool, a nice rug, a pillow cushion, your own caboose, keister, a badonkadonk. Just whatever you want to sit down on, let's all gather in the corner. If you're coming back, welcome, welcome, welcome back to the Coco Convo Corner. I am the host of this here production. You can call me Coco or Courtney. And today we're getting into Dragon Con 2023. So I had a friend tell me that they were going to Dragon Con and they were volunteering and they were waiting to hear back for their volunteer status. And while I'm talking to them, I submitted a volunteer application. And then within the next day or two, I got approved to volunteer and they still hadn't gotten approval yet. So it was so funny just seeing that happen and seeing that go through. And this was maybe 2 or 3 weeks before it was scheduled to start. And Dragon Con apparently every year is Labor Day weekend. So it was a Thursday through a Monday. And I feel like I'm skipping some stuff. But basically there's a lot of logistics to figure out, right? I got to figure out what am I going to do for work? I got to figure out what days and times I'm going to volunteer, what slots are open, which team I can volunteer on, yada, yada, yada. And since I signed up so late, the only teams left weren't, I guess, my original top picks. But I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going there to volunteer anyway. That's the whole purpose and point. So whatever team I get put on, I just get put on and I do my job because I do like volunteering. I've always liked volunteering and altruism and giving back because time is a currency that you can't really put a price on, not a true price. So my friend and I, we made plans to take MARTA. That's another thing, y'all. I haven't taken the MARTA train in forever. I don't know if I want to say maybe college time. So it's been years since I've gotten on a MARTA train, and I'm just what is this? And a lot of the things are still similar, using the card and getting the Breeze card and going through the gates and stuff. But I'm looking up routes. I'm feeling like I'm going to get lost, trying to make sure nobody's going to snatch me, getting all these weird smells, yada yada. So I volunteered. I was scheduled for a Friday night shift, Friday night to Saturday morning, and then a Saturday afternoon to evening. And there was just so much to see and so much to do. So Dragon Con is a gathering of sci-fi, comics, animation, all the things. So think Star Wars, Star Trek, people dressing up from your favorite shows or just in silly costumes. So there was a Futurama costume with, why do I keep wanting to say Fry? What is the robot's name? Bender. Bender. They're people in Pokemon, Eevee, and Kirby costumes, dinosaur costumes. People dressed up as their interpretation of Jesus. Nightmare Before Christmas cast. Sailor Scouts. Saw a heck of a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Marvel's characters, Avengers characters. I'm trying to think of anyone I saw multiple times. A lot of Pokemon trainers, just anything you can think of. Star Wars, Star Trek, Alien versus Predator. The guy from Kobe from Sixth Sense. Got a lot of Sixth Sense costumes too. So just anything you could think of, past or present day that was sci-fi, whether it's book-wise, movie-wise, television show-wise. They were there. People were out in costume, and it was such a great time. It was a great community, and that's just seeing it. As a volunteer for the team I ended up being on, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, and I did get to hang out with some volunteers on other teams, and they were just chilling. They were cooling, and mind you, every night my feet were hurting. I was tired. My schedule was so crazy, and Saturday was supposed to be my last day, but I knew that the team I was assigned to needed more help, so I elected to volunteer an extra day. And I literally stayed. It was 10 p.m. to 5 or 6 a.m. y'all. It was wild. It was a wild and crazy and fun time. And it just really resonated with me. And I am my age. But in my head, I was just like, finding community at 33 or finding community beyond your 30s or just finding community period is such a beautiful thing. And not even in the sense of, well, I remember back in the day where, outward expression of, being a nerd and being into nerdy things or quote unquote smart things wasn't cool. Not even just in that sense, but in the sense like I just felt like there was no judgment, and maybe there was judgment around people, but for me and for what I was seeing in my experience, it was just like everybody was so free to be themselves. If you wanted to be under 10 different layers, so your costume was authentic, cool. If you wanted to be under a one ply toilet paper sheet, and that's all you were wearing, okay, cool. So it was very inspiring to see everyone coming as themselves for who they wanted to reflect, and just seeing them partake in all the different activities. So there were like dancing activities, there were meet and greets, autograph signings, pictures, dance parties every single day in every single hotel. There were gaming rooms, costume contests. There was like certain plays and theatrical things they were putting on. There was also like obviously merch and artist alleys and highlights for creators. And it was just amazing. It was amazing to see as a volunteer who was working, literally working. So I can't even imagine how much fun people were having just being an attendee. And mind you, this is a 24/7 thing. There were always things going on at all of the hotels. So if I had my 3 takeaways from DragonCon 2023, and I am doing this in real time, you also bear with me, I'd say number 1, if you can go. Even if you feel like maybe this isn't my scene, or I'm hesitant, or maybe you don't want to go alone, find somebody to go with if that's the case. But if you can go, definitely go. I really appreciated the team I was on. They were a close-knit team, and you can tell that they've been volunteering together for decades. I even had one person say that they've been coming as a baby. So he himself has, quote unquote, been a volunteer for 30 plus years, technically, or at least within the sphere of it. But a lot of people were vocally impressed with, me coming in and jumping right in and doing the work. And I got a lot of, will you be back next year? Like, how do you feel about it? Like, what could we do to, make sure other people want to, come and volunteer on this team? And I'm like, oh, I'm definitely coming back every year. If I'm in the city for Labor Day weekend, I'm volunteering every year until I can volunteer no more. That's how amazing it was for me. So that's my number 1 takeaway. If you can go, if you've never been before, if you're hesitant at all, definitely go. Try to go and get a 3-day pass. Go as many days as you can go. That's number 1. Number 2, if you're going to go and you do enjoy volunteering, then yes, please volunteer. So many teams need volunteers, and I'm purposefully not saying which team I volunteered for, because it's, kind of like in the agreement, like, please don't speak for our team or publicly associate with our team. But there's so many things you can volunteer for, whether you're doing the social media team, or you're doing the safety team, or you're doing the tech ops and communications, or you're doing like a greeting team, or if you're doing a setup team. There are so many volunteer teams to choose from and that people need. And if you're not sure exactly where you can contribute, but you want to contribute, then you can say that. You can, sign up for the other, and they'll put you where they need people. That's that. My 3rd takeaway would be, if you have a business idea and you think it might be relevant to people within like the sci-fi, geekdom, fandom of nature, then DragonCon, the MomoCons, whatever other cons that come around, you need to do that. I overheard plenty of people, and this is just anybody could take this idea, and multiple people can run with this idea. But I even had the idea because I heard multiple people talking about like, I'm not sure if I want to say this because it's also like a stereotype, but it's kind of a true stereotype. So I'll whisper it. I heard multiple people talking about how certain con goers just weren't as fresh. You know what I mean? You get that con funk, you get super excited, and you forget to go, do certain things like bathe or freshen up and stuff. And I had the idea, I was like, man, if I just like got a vendor pass and was just selling like body wash, deodorant, things that people forgot to grab or they were running around or whatever it is, I was like, I could have made buku money. So that's my third takeaway. If you have a business idea and it's affiliated, whether it's like you selling sci-fi keychains or custom like bow ties and hair bows or scarves or do-rags or I don't know, like special notebook holders for the Pokemon cards or even like custom bags that people can carry around DragonCon. Like there's so many opportunities to make money within these spaces as well. So yeah. That's the short version of my experience. I'm going to also include some pictures. So if you're just one of my weekly listeners, you might want to check out the episode. I'm going to include some pictures and some videos. I also got to meet That's So Jay, who, oh my goodness, I love her hair. I've been following her on Instagram for a while. But as soon as I signed up to volunteer, I was like, I bet you That's So Jay is going to be there. And it's so funny, y'all. I was at one of the main doors one of the nights, and someone tapped me on my back and was asking me when the event was going to start. And I was like, oh, Jay! And she was like, hi. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're even more beautiful in person. And she was like, thank you. I just want to know. And so I talked to her then. And so then I had to keep doing door stuff. And by the time I turned around, she wasn't there anymore. I was like, dang. And so y'all, the second day, I just happened to be walking to go get something. And then I saw her and I was like, oh, Jay. She's like, hi. And I was like, can I get a picture? And she's like, yeah, sure. And then in retrospect, I was like, dang, I should have asked her if she was taking pictures and stuff. And it's funny to me, the people that I fangirl about, because I feel like if like Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, President Obama came in the room, like I'd probably lose my breath. I'd be like, oh, I probably wouldn't speak, but I wouldn't be fangirling. But people like That's So Jay and Rennie Goddess, like I'd be like, oh my god, I follow you on Instagram. I love the content you make. So I was really excited. I got to get a picture with her. I'll be including that as well. So thank you so much for stopping by the Coco Convo Corner. I want to encourage you all to find your community, no matter what your age is and what your interest is. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, like our close friends and family might not be all we need when we're looking for a community, or you don't know that your community is out there sometimes unless you go. So another thing you can do, they have like this website called meetup.com or meetups.com, and they show different like categories and different events and stuff that are going on. The same friend that I ended up doing the DragonCon events with, I went with them to a meetup, and it was a karaoke meetup, and I was very like nervous at first and reserved and kind of clamshelly, but eventually like I'm like, it's karaoke with strangers, like it's all good, it's cool. So yeah, I just want to encourage you all to find your community. Thank you so much for stopping by the Coco Convo Corner. You can find us on Instagram at the Coco Convo Corner, and you can listen and watch us on both YouTube and Spotify. Bye, y'all.